Shalom, call Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and blessings to the brothers that's pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the planet Earth and the brothers and sisters that's tuning in. Shalom. Now this is just going to be about the famine of the word, which is rapidly approaching. You had a Kyrie Kanye situation that's bringing in a cluster of the Israelites, which will, have the elect in there at a 2/3 in there, because there will be 2/3 of Israel that know, right, that they're Israelites, and then you will have Israelites that may not accept that they're Israelites and be a part of the 2/3, but you will have Israelites that know they're Israelites, that know the name Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and still get knocked off. But I'm gonna start this off in Matthew the 24th chapter, because we're in the midst of Matthew the 24th chapter, in prophecy wise. So this is Matthew the 24th chapter. I'm gonna start at 20. I'm gonna start from the top. I'm not the top verse 3. I'm gonna start at verse 3. Let's get that red letter. And that red letter is the words of Yahweh Shai himself. Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? So the end of this society, which is ruled by Esau Edom, and the coming of Yahweh Shai are synonymous. They're connected. Isaiah 63rd chapter, somewhere in the book of Revelations, Yahweh Shai will completely, in Daniel 2nd chapter or the 3rd chapter, Yahweh Shai will completely throw down Esau's dominion over the planet Earth and usher in the kingdom of heaven. And the end of this society will be Jacob's trouble, the World War III, right? What we know as like the apocalypse, right? But it's more than that. Just that it has a lot of levels to it. In this verse 4, and Yahweh Shai answered him answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Now we have plenty of wars leading up. The most recent one is in Ukraine. The U.S. just officially announced their troops in the Ukrainian war. You had the war in Iran, Afghanistan. China's gearing up to invade Taiwan. So we're hearing rumors of wars, and we're in the midst of wars. All right. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Clearly, this financial system is still in place. This financial system has to collapse. It has to be more famines. It has to be more pestilences. It has to be more evil on this earth, and many more things before that end is fully, in in flourishing. This is verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and you go into that word nation is ethnos, which is the same thing as Gentile, and that goes for anybody. Anybody can be a nation. Just because I said that, let's just go into it. So you go to nation, and it's ethnos, right? So ethnicity, and you go into what it means: a tribe, specifically foreign, Gentile, heathen, nation, people, a race. So it can be Israelites, Edomites, so on and so forth. And one more that comes to mind, I think it's Genesis, the 10th chapter. Yeah, Genesis 10 and 5. You go to that word Gentiles right there, is Goy, which means a nation, people, same meaning, right? A foreign nation, hence a Gentile, also figuratively a troop of animals or a flight of locusts, Gentile, heathen, nation, people. And as you can see, Israel, the Israelites, because the Gentile just means um, a nation. That's all it means. Heathen too, it just means a nation. But Christianity has twisted it to make it mean everybody that's not an Israelite, when the scriptures clearly says otherwise. But anyways, back to what we was getting into. This is Matthew 24 at verse 5. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. So, people starving, and pestilences, diseases, and earthquakes in diverse places. All of these things are happening at this very moment. Matthew 24 and 6, 5, really 5 through 7 is already taking place right now. And what's next, which is clearly, we're right there, we're right at the tip of that, is verse 9. But this verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Now this verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So all, even the Israelites that don't have the true gospel, will hate the Israelites that have the true gospel of the scriptures, just like with Yahushua, because he is the gospel, he is the word made flesh. Some of the brothers and sisters, specifically the brothers pushing the truth, they will be snatched up by Esau. Tortured, put on trial, killed, so on and so forth. And then the Israelites that are remaining will be hated because we're preaching the downfall of Esau Edom, the extermination of Esau Edom, the slavery of all the nations, with boldness, with facts, with the scriptures. The reason why they're going to hate us is because we're using the scriptures. We're not using our opinion. We're not twisting the scriptures. We're coming with cold, hard facts. That's why they're going to hate us for it, because we're saying all the benefits that's coming for us and all the cons that comes for them. And then you got 2/3 Jake that just bugged the hell out. This verse 10. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. That's right. They're going to be offended by this word, because this word is an offense. It is hate, man. Romans 9 and 13. It's hate. There's nothing wrong with hating wickedness. The scriptures tells you to hate evil. And you Edomites in this world is clearly evil. And this verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Now I'm going to skip down to, actually, I'm going to just read the rest of it. This is verse 13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So you're not automatically saved just because you believe in the scriptures. You're saved if you endure unto the end. And not everybody that believes in the scriptures is even going to endure to the end, man. But they still, the dead in Hamashiach will rise first. But some brothers will receive that mercy, not have to die. Everybody has a different law in this truth. And now this is the last verse, the main point I want to get right here. In this gospel of the kingdom, Matthew chapter 10, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Why does it have to be a witness unto all nations? Because the Israelites are scattered into all nations. Acts chapter 2, Matthew chapter 10, James chapter 1. I mean, all throughout the scriptures. Now let's go to Amos chapter 8. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, the most high, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst of water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, and they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, Thy God, O Dan, liveth, in the manner of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. So there's going to come a point where this word is going to be cut off, and you're not going to be able to hear these scriptures anymore. It's going to be hidden. It's going to be cut off from the populace. It's not going to be no more YouTube. That feminine word is mainly going to go into this internet being shut off. This is Ezekiel 3 and 26. And will make thy tongue cleave to the roof of thy mouth, that thou shalt be dumb, and shall not be to them a reprover, for they are a rebellious house. This is verse 27. But when I speak with thee, I will open thy mouth, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus said the Lord thy power, He that heareth, let him hear, and he that forbeareth, let him forbear, for they are a rebellious house. And that's Jake. Jake is hard-headed, stiff-necked people. Now let's get what is it, Isaiah 58. Isaiah 58 and 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. And that's a part of prophecy. And the only way you can do that, the only way to show transgressions, the only possible way to show right, those transgressions is through these scriptures, because the transgression is breaking the law, and the law was only given to the Israelites. And just to prove that, no, it's in John and I think Romans too. I want to get the one in John though. 1 John 3 and 4. Whoever committeth sin transgresses also the law, for sin is a transgression of the law. So that's how you understand. In order to show the Israelites they're going off, first and foremost, you got to let them know they're Israelites and tell them, what the scriptures say. All the scriptures, the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the New Testament. You see, Christianity, they just start at the New Testament because they're fucking idiots, man. They're trying to push an agenda. Now, I'm not saying all these Christians do that, but when you come with scriptures hard, man, they'll try to, they try to do slick tactics to lower level Israelites that don't have a proper understanding. If you don't have a full understanding of the scriptures, these slithering Christians can try to use their opinion to debunk what you're saying. And you could be saying the truth, but you're not backing it up with the scriptures, so it's void in a way. But let's get in another one I'm gonna just bring up to debunk more Christian lies. Hebrews 10 and 7. Then I said, Lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me to do thy will, O power. So you have to go into all the scriptures, not just start at Matthew chapter 1 and end in Revelation. This bullshit, man. It's total bullshit. Let's hit up Ezekiel 33. Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. So let's scroll up a little bit. Yep, that's Jake being stiff necked. All right, you can read Ezekiel 33, the 33rd chapter yourself. I'm just getting main points. And as you can see, it will come a point, even when these some of these 2/3 will realize, oh, them dudes on the corner, street corners, them dudes on YouTube and Odyssey and whatever, right? It was telling the truth. Let's get limitations. There's limitations 3 and 37. Who is he that saith, and it come to pass when the Lord Yahweh commandeth it not? So you can only accomplish something when the Most High allows it, good or evil. This is Romans 3 and 3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? The Most High forbid, yet let the Most High, right, our power, be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mighty is overcome when thou art judged. So we're gonna believe these scriptures over these vain opinions of man. And one of the worst, how do you put it, interpretations of the scriptures is Christianity, man. Saying everybody can be saved. Esau's already done away with. The Most High, the Israelites, what else? The angels. Um, who the world they call Jesus Christ? They're all fucking white people, man. It's fucking wickedness, man, through and through. And the rest of these fucking Mormons and all that, they're fucking wickedness too, man. And Catholics, unorthodox, whatever. It's all fucking wickedness. It contradicts the scriptures. Yeah. And the famine of the word is coming. And the famine of the word is not going to be for these man-made religions. It's going to be for what I'm saying right now. These scriptures, the true gospel, the actual truth of the Bible, which is the Israelites, your so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans. The second covenant is only for the Israelites. The second covenant was pretty much the whole point why Yahweh Shah died on the cross. That not pretty much, that is the whole point. Yahweh Shah died on the cross for the second covenant. Hebrews chapter 8. Go read it. And that's only for the Israelites. The Israelites will be immortal. So-called white people are the Edomites. They will be exterminated. The nations on the planet Earth will be subservient to the Israelites forever. That's the truth of these scriptures. And that's what is going to be scarce in these coming days through internet. Pretty much the ultimate one is once they police this internet. And then when the internet goes off. Now let's get Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6 and verse 22. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you. Yeah, man, they're gonna hate for what I'm saying, for what we saying, because it doesn't benefit them, and they're wicked. And when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. They called Yahweh Shai what? Um, what was it? Beelzebub. They call Yahweh Shai goddamn devil, man. So how much more us hit up? It's the book of Job, chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So you Edomites will be cut off in these what's coming down the pipe, because this is prophecy for the Israelites to get that rulership on the planet Earth. Let's go to Isaiah 8. You Edomites aren't going to continue in your wickedness. If you're set at 88.8%, you're not going to 88.9%. This is Isaiah 8 and verse 13. Sanctifying Yahweh of hosts himself, and let him be your fear, and let him be your dread, and he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling, and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and for a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Yeah, so Jake think Esau supposed to reign over them. Jake think Esau is the one who has these scriptures. That these scriptures is Esau's. Well, they think Esau's Jacob. They think Esau's Jacob, and then they say that Jacob is false. These false Israelites, Jared, was it Revelations 3 and 9, is a part of it. And that's that gin and that snare, and many among them shall stumble and fall and be broken and be snared and be taken. Bind up the testimony. Bind up means to cast, to hide, to Let's go into the Strongs real quick. To shut up. Besiege, bind up. Narrower. Shut up. So this truth of these scriptures is gonna be taken away from the populace. Bind up the testimony, and the testimony goes into Yahweh Shah. I'm gonna get that in a little bit. Bind up the testimony, seek the law among my disciples. And I will wait upon the Lord Yahweh that hideth his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. So, and that's why we went through what we went through. Deuteronomy 28, chapter 15, verse on down. Now this is going to Yahweh Shai being that testimony. Revelations 19 and 20. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that had a testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship of the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. So Yahweh Shai, the first fruits, that bridge to being the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven will be shut up. At some point, once all the ones that the Most High wants gets it, they're gonna get it. And Jake, meanwhile, we got Jake doing this, man, learning from the heathen, which is the other nations. This is Jeremiah 10 and 2. Thus said Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. They see these chariots, which are piloted by the angels, which are dark-skinned men, so-called black men. They're dismayed by that. It was a video of Esau, man. I don't know who this guy was. I forgot his name. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you type in what was he saying, he said he pretty much saw the angels, man. He saw the quote unquote UFOs, which are the chariots, and he said he saw tall, dark skinned men come out of the chariots that are like 7-8 foot tall. And he said what was it? He's one encounter. He said they landed on the warship. They landed on a warship, came out of the chariot, the UFO, right? And he said it was tall, very dark skinned individuals. And you go into the scriptures, it describes the angels same way, a similar way to Yahweh Shai. And they look like the Israelites. And we know the Israelites are people of color. Finna wrap up soon. It's John 12 and 38. That the saying of Elijah, I think that's Elijah. Let me double check. Or Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah, not Elijah. Isaiah. Yeah, because this is restating what was said in the book of Isaiah. It's John 12 and 38. That the saying of Isaiah the prophet might be fulfilled, which he spake to Yahweh, who have believed our report, and to whom have the arm of Yahweh been revealed. And that arm goes into Yahweh Shah, man. And Yahweh Shah is this word. Let's get that. And we just read Yahweh Shai, spirit of prophecy. And this is finna be taken away. John 1 and 14, the word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, and the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And the word is the Old Testament, the Apocrypha, and the Apocrypha is a part of the Old Testament and the New Testament. So Christianity standards, you're taking away a portion of Yahweh Shah, man. Because they don't have the truth. They have their own agenda, clearly, going around the world, killing and raping and torturing and enslaving. You understand? In the name of wickedness. Jeremiah 28 and 8. The prophets that have been before me and before of old and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and a pestilence. So the prophets did that in the past, and the prophets are going to do that in the present, and the prophets are going to do that in the future. And the only people that's doing that, calling on the true name of the Most High, is first came out of One West on down. So Great Millstone, Men of Valor, camps similar to those. All right, Truth came out of One West, and the head right now is indeed Great Millstone. That's the only brothers that's doing what the prophets of old is doing. Nobody's doing what we doing. And I just talked to my grandma, and the pastor. I know the pastor. He's like a distant uncle, you could say to me. And he's a pastor, and he started. My grandma told me that he talked about the Edomites, and I'm like, oh, he talking about Edomites now, huh? Because they know this truth, man. They know about the Israelites. That's why they, diving into Esau. They was fucking talking about no Esau, Edom in fucking church, the Christian church. Fuck no. They talk about the same BS, a little sob story, a little relatable story. Go about your day, eat some fucking pork chops. I'm gonna end this off right here. This second Ezra chapter 8, verse 55. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, get this word, get the knowledge of these scriptures, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no power. Yeah, and that knowing they must die. So these Israelites are gonna die, man. Even the ones that even know the law. Hell, they might even be keeping the law, man. They might have faith in Yahweh Shah. They might just bug the hell out at the last moment and take the chip. For real. And if you take that chip, you was never a part of the elect. Point blank period. I'm in that off right there, Shalom.